Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Healing Embodied podcast. This is your host, Chelsea Horton, and today I am joined by Stevie Wright. I am so excited for the conversation we're going to have today. We're going to be talking about some things that I haven't yet discussed in the podcast, which is like the intersection of plant medicine and embodiment. And so we're going to have a really juicy conversation. So I'm so glad to have you here on the podcast, Stevie.
Thanks so much for having me, Chelsea. I'm happy to be here.
Yay! So tell the people of Earth a little bit about who you are and what you're doing at this stage in your career journey.
Okay, yeah, I'm a somatic healer. I'm a breathwork facilitator. I lead plant medicine retreats. I work with couples, but all the offers that I have, all the work that I do is really centered around somatics, around somatic healing, around embodiment, and really around working with the body, working with energy, working with charge in the body to help clear through stuck emotion, stagnant energy, feelings that got trapped a long time ago in childhood and then got uh, concretized as a frozen pocket. And how that shows up in our lives, why that matters in our lives, is because when we have all these pockets of frozen energy, we're less our life force, our essence, our source energy is less available to us because it's actually trapped and bound up in these pockets of life force. And so I'll have people share with me sometimes, I've worked on this belief so much. I've done so much mindset work on this. This just keeps coming up and up and up and up. It's likely because you haven't worked with the charge, the bound up energy. And so, you know, good thing is that a lot of this stuff is not your fault. It's not our fault, right? It's our responsibility to work with it, but it's not our fault. And so when you learn how to really drop into the body, be in your witness consciousness, be in unconditional welcoming, and allow the stuck feelings and the stuck energy that got caught and trapped a long time ago to flow, to feel, what happens is your life force is freed. Literally, more of you gets available, and then you have more of yourself available to your life to create new beliefs, to go after the thing that you want, to, uh, you know, do the scary investment, to manifest, like all these things that we actually don't have all of our energy to do. We wonder why some of these things haven't been able to get done or why we haven't been able to accomplish them or with this goal that I haven't seemed to be able to reach. I keep in a belief system. And whether I'm working with women or men or couples or in a plant medicine ceremony, that's really the backbone of what I do.
I love the way that you put that of like the emotion from a long time ago gets like stuck and trapped in the body and it like I get the imagery of like crumpled
Yeah,
paper and it like crumples up our energy versus when we can allow that to move through and alchemize and metabolize, there's so much more space available
yeah,
and like a liberation of energy and a liberation of self.
exactly.
Because
Yeah,
there's also these like, because of this stuck energy, trauma, whatever you want to call it, we we move through life with all these like survival strategies and identities that aren't,
defense mechanisms.
yeah, they're not really who we are.
Yeah,
And then when we like liberate that stuck energy, we finally get to like meet ourselves truly for the first time,
yeah.
which is such a beautiful thing.
Who was I before all of these defenses and
Yeah.
all of these protectors got put in place?
Yeah. And it's interesting because what ends up happening is we become more childlike in that there's more imagination, there's more creativity, there's more laughter, there's more play, there's more silliness.
Totally.
Like before the child became wounded and then grew up in a world where you have to become callous or you have to control everything or worry about everything. It's like we actually become more like playful.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
Yeah,
that. I
it's
love that.
beautiful. Talk to me about how you see this kind of thing manifest in couples, the stuck energy and how like the lack of flow inside of one person or both people in the relationship, how that impacts the flow of connection and intimacy in the relationship.
Yeah, I would say that couples work is one of my favorite things to do. It's one of my favorite types of offerings. The reason being is because when I'm working with someone solo, like, yes, of course, their stuff is coming up. They're telling me about this thing that happened. We're working with the charge, we're working with the body. When you're working with a couple, oftentimes, that's the person that most trigger you, and it triggers your most core wound. And so when I have two people in the room and they're actually in the dynamic that's been crunchy, they're in the disagreement, they're in the pattern, it's like the two wounded children are in the room with me right there, and I can go, ooh, okay, I can see exactly what's happening here. I can see exactly what childhood ouches are getting touched and awakened over and over and over again in their coupleship, in their partnership, right? And so the work actually tends to go faster, not only because the stuff is alive in the room, but also how I teach couples to hold each other is when one of them or the other is going through a dissolve or a somatic process, we're in something in childhood, the other is offering tons of empathy, tons of loving witness, tons of presence, so that not only is my loving gaze on them, but also their partner's loving gaze is on them. And so they're in a process where something really tender is coming up, but they're also being held in so much love with it, so it actually can fully integrate. So one, that's how I see like couples work be so supportive, but also what I would say is, we're talking about the stuck energy. So we come into the world, we're just these little babies with big feelings, big sensations. We don't have any stories yet. We're just these balls of energy. And so over time, through painful experiences, through trauma, through, happenings that, take place in our lives, we have these big feelings, but our little bodies actually don't know how to feel them through. It is imperative that we actually have a loving other, a parent outside of us to help us feel our feelings through. Unless you have really, 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 really good attuned parents, it's likely that most of us didn't get that. Maybe we got it in some ways, but we didn't get it in all the ways that we needed. And so that big feeling comes on, whether it's sadness or fear or mad or whatever it is, we don't know how to feel it. We don't get the support outside of us to feel it through. That gets stuck as belief system. So, you know, um, someone on the schoolyard wouldn't let us play with the group. We got ostracized from the group. We have a big feeling. We can't feel that through on our own. We don't get the support we need. Wow, something about me must be unlovable, unlikable. I'm an outsider. And there we are at 7 with this fucking belief that stays with us until our 30s and 40s and 50s and so on. Right. And so bringing it back to couples, when I'm sitting with a couple, I can see how the imago, like they're perfectly triggering each other. And we choose people based on our core wounds. We just do. We choose people based on our core wounds. And the person that we choose is always an opposite of that core wound. So the puzzle piece perfectly fits together, meaning not just in like a lovey-dovey way, but also in a trauma bonded way, in that um, we're perfectly triggering and touching and awakening and lighting up the things that have been hidden. And so, again, like I'm seeing how here this couple is in their 30s or 40s, but actually, when it comes to this pattern that they just can't seem to get out of, they're two 7-year-olds duking it out. And so my work is really bringing a somatic and holistic embodied approach to a couple, because if we're just talking about who was right in the fight, and oftentimes it's why couples therapy doesn't oftentimes land. and it's not successful because they're just talking about tools, and tools are great, right? They're talking about tools, they're talking about communication. That's all, of course, really important, though. If we're not getting to the root of the thing, I think it's going to keep coming up and up and up. So, yeah, that's one of the places that I think somatics is deeply effective.
And I love that imagery of like the puzzle pieces and perfectly triggering each other. And, in the work I've done with couples, it's like people think the presence of a trigger is like means that the relationship is wrong or doomed. And I'm not saying that like abuse is okay and
Right. No, right.
harmful, hurtful things is okay, but any relationship is going to poke at something in you that maybe you have not looked at. And a lot of people go, oh my gosh, this means something is wrong. And really, what you're saying is like, actually, no, this old wound is actually being brought to the light.
Yeah.
And a lot of couples don't, I don't think we're taught that about relationships.
No.
We're taught it should be easy, it should be perfect. They should never trigger you. They should be everything that you want them to be. And if they're
Yeah.
not, kick them to the curb.
Right.
But this is, I guess, this is what you could call conscious partnership, where you actually using the safe container of the partnership to actually look at the things that never got looked at and heal them. But that's not always this pretty
No.
high
No, no.
vibe process.
It's not a high vibe process at all, necessarily.
It's
Um,
uncomfy.
yeah, and I like to say my husband and I've been together for 11 years.
Me too. 11
Really?
years.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, amazing.
Whoa.
I honestly like to say that, and he says it too, like we are each other's secret weapon.
Mm.
There is, with all the work that we've done individually, there is no deeper work on ourselves than we have done in our couples container. And so, you know, like what you're saying, if you're in conscious partnership, using the partnership to allow these things to be awakened, what it brings is you're actually coming into wholeness. You're coming into your most powerful version of yourself. You're coming into real, like, divine relating. And my husband and I, we work with couples together. I work with couples by myself, but sometimes we work with couples together, and we run couples retreats and things. And it is truly one of our gifts to the world this lifetime, and some of our medicine. The path that we've walked has been really hard and gorgeous, and um, lots of ups and downs. And we've landed in a place where we feel really excited about supporting other people into sacred relating and lovership, and yeah, it's something I feel really grateful for.
Oh my gosh. That is so beautiful.
Yeah,
And yeah, what a gift to the world, because the mainstream approach to relationships is like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Which again, there's a kernel of truth to that. And relationships are requiring us to go a little bit deeper than that. Like if
right.
we really want, if your goal is a lifelong committed partnership, then you're gonna have to look at some shit.
You're gonna have to look at some shit.
You're gonna have to look at some shit. And you're gonna, yeah.
You're gonna have to look at some of the places that you guys just can't seem to get out of, right? Like
Yeah.
the places that just seem to rear their head over and over again. There's something to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's something to it. And oftentimes, like what I have found with even with myself and also the couples I work with, this is something that has come up in other relationships as well
Yeah.
before our current partners, right? So something is here.
Yeah.
There's some gold in this treasure trove if we look.
Yeah. Because otherwise, it's the same story that plays out with a different person.
Yeah.
And then we go, well, I just can't find the right person, or no one wants to love me, or we then either make it mean something bad about the people that we're with or about ourselves,
Yeah.
and we're totally missing the point.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Something that I've said before in the work I've done with, I mostly work with individuals, but who experience anxiety and insecurity in their relationships. But something I've said before is like we attract someone who embodies what we reject in ourselves.
Yeah.
And that at first can become really, at first, it could be the thing that feels like chemistry.
Hmm.
Like they're so interesting. They're so different. Like, ah, wow, who is this person?
Right, right.
And then it becomes the thing that triggers us. We're like, why can't they be more like me? Or why is it da, da, da? And this was something so big in my relationship. Me and my husband are very different people.
Hmm.
We always used to joke like we would never have matched on a dating app because like on paper, it's just like night and day. I am in the sky, he is on earth. Like
Yep.
he is linear, logical. I am creative and,
Yep.
abstract. And at first, like, there was an attraction there, but it kind of freaked me out because I'm like, what world are you from?
Yeah.
And then it became so trigger. It was something that would trigger me that he was so different from me. And I wanted to change him, making
Yeah.
him the problem. If
Yeah.
you were just more like me, then I wouldn't feel the way that I feel.
Right. Let me just give you this hot potato. Put it in your hand.
That's the exact analogy. Like you take it, you hold it. And it was through my partnership that I learned like actually all these things that I had rejected in myself were things that I had learned to judge, like certain traits, certain aspects I learned to judge and I learned to pedestalize, like that being spiritual was like better,
Totally,
that I
totally.
was actually superior. And like, I'm better, you need to be more like me. And if you're
He's
not, then I'm
he's
gonna get
like
triggered.
he's like, I'll pass, thanks.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. 100 million%.
He's like, maybe not.
It's like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, no thanks.
No. And I love that about partnership. In hindsight, I can laugh at that and love that about our journey. But for I know a lot of couples, it's like we'll never be able to get past this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess tell me about like that moment or that process where a couple is stuck in a dynamic it
Mhm.
keeps coming up. What are some of the key things that help them go, whoa, first of all, I see what's happening here.
Yeah.
Maybe this is where the plant medicine comes in. I see what's happening here, and I now know how to relate
Mm.
differently because I see this conflict differently.
I'll tell you about a session I had yesterday afternoon. I They were in a trap of, how do I want to define it? They just didn't feel like the amount that they were giving and receiving was equal. And I took I took her through a process where essentially, it's kind of convoluted, so I'll just kind of be brief. I don't want to take up too much of the pod, but essentially, I took her through a process where she was connecting with the part of her that feels like she can't do it. She never was given any responsibility as a kid. She had everything handed to her, and she named it like this, like she had everything handed to her. I didn't get responsibility. Her husband had tons of responsibility. Her husband had a lot of things put on him, actually too at a too young of an age. So they're in this like really equal and opposite dynamic where she didn't have any responsibility. He had all the responsibility, and he was still showing up in their relationship. And so I just felt guided to work with her more in this moment because I could see what his thing was and how it responded to hers, but I just felt more the charge was more alive with her in the moment. And so we did a process around connecting with how angry she is that no one ever taught her how to take responsibility. That no one, and it's so beautiful because she wasn't defensive. She wasn't defending this part of her. She saw it so clearly and she was pissed. She was pissed at herself. She was pissed at her family that she never got taught like a can-do attitude. They never trusted her to be like, you need to have responsibility. It will build your confidence. It will make you, help you spread your wings, right? And she's like, I know I can do things. I know that I can do this, but it's like the well-worn path is to not try. And it drives him nuts. And then what he'll do is his response is to over kind of over manage her. And so then she feels small. It's like this whole tangle. And so as we were working her anger and I was helping her, I was like, what do you want to say? And it's, I'm so mad. You didn't give me a chance. I'm so mad. And, she kind of went on and on about what she's mad about. And she let her inner child speak, all sorts of tears and anger. And it was so beautiful. And, um, I said, okay, now speak from your authority. Like, actually take responsibility right now. You're the good adult now. No one's coming to save you. Take responsibility and be the loving adult and speak the truth into her. What do you want to say? Speak your truth into her. And so I had her speak from her adult into her child about, I know I can do this. Yes, I can. I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be uncomfortable. And she just kind of spoke loving things into her inner child that helped her gain a bit of confidence in herself. And so this whole time, I'm just having him put his entire witness on her, all his witness, all his presence. Her eyes are mostly closed for the whole time, and I'm watching him. Because I'm tracking them both. I'm watching him, like, for those listening, my face is kind of like a face of awe. Like he's not saying anything, but he's going, "Holy shit!" Like where things are clicking for him, and he's watching his wife really take ownership and feel through like how and why it's been so hard for her to take responsibility. And so the first thing that I said as she came out, I said to her husband, tell her what you see. Tell her what you see. Does it make sense why she hasn't been able to show up for you in this way? And he was floored. He was just like, I get it. I understand. I'm so touched. I'm angry for you. This has been so hard to watch, and now I see like that this why it's been so hard. I love you. Of course you can do it. And he just started pouring his confidence into her, and we're all just weeping. It was incredible. It was incredible. But it's kind of like, I told them both, I was like, listen, you've got to stop over managing her. Like you've got to let her fall on her face a bit. Let her learn, let her fall on her face and find her own sense of inner, like inner structure, inner can do, and it was such a very specific, like real-time example of how his childhood trauma was showing up because he's just all the responsibilities always put on him and it always will be, and there's no one's ever going to come help me.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Right. And her, like what we talked about with hers. And so it was really like a frustrating contention point that they couldn't seem to get out of. And, we might need to do more dissolves. I'm not saying that it's totally done, but we definitely had a big breakthrough in getting to the root of why this thing keeps getting touched and awakened. And we're working together for quite a long time. So I have, we're at the beginning of our container, but we're going to be working together for a while. And I have a real vision for
Mm.
helping him into his pain around never being helped, and never getting the support that he really needed.
Wow.
Um, and helping him feel into his pain around that. So all in good time,
Wow.
but that's a perfect example of how the somatic stuff can, show up in a real life kind of day-to-day annoying
Yeah.
fucking pattern that they can't seem to get out of.
Chills.
It
Absolute
was so
chill.
fun. It was so fun.
It's
I was
this
like
the
having a ball.
Yeah, right. It's the best ever. And I imagine that before first people see this about themselves, like where it's really coming from, and before a couple understands where it's really coming from, it feels more like a character flaw. And
Yes.
there's judgment and there's criticism and there's what's wrong with you and there's why can't you? And it
Yes.
stays at the surface and we're like picking at each other as if it's a character flaw.
Yes,
And there's like a moral judgment or assessment of the behavior on the surface level. Whereas here it's like you're seeing it. This partner was seeing his partner for the first time of like what is actually underneath this versus this annoying character flaw. Like you said, there was like maybe some micromanaging happening. It's like, wait, actually, no, there's this child inside that needs to learn to trust herself.
exactly.
And if I'm
Exactly.
micromanaging her, she can never access this thing that is so vital to our well-being, which is trusting that we are capable and we are competent and we can do things. We can do hard, uncomfortable things and we can rise. Like
Right.
to not have access to that is actually really heartbreaking. And
Yes.
what a beautiful,
I was so proud of them. It
oh my
was
God.
amazing. It was amazing. And like I said in the beginning, or like a little earlier, there really is something to being witnessed in it. Right. So she will have a more complete integration of that because he has his love and his total understanding on her rather than frustration.
Yeah. Like changing that dynamic in real time of how
Real time.
he relates to that pattern of hers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incredible.
It was so fun.
And for this, for your couples work, are you incorporating, here I'll bring in the plant medicine
Yeah.
piece. Are you incorporating plant medicine in something like that?
If they want it, yes.
Yeah.
So like it's a different protocols for different clients. For for some clients, they're not quite ready. And actually I can feel they're not quite ready. So some people, it's like I can feel that they need to build up quite a bit more trust with each other and with me, to be honest. Like we need to
Mhm.
build our relationship and our safety. Other times I have couples come in who I've worked with the woman for a long time. And sometimes they've even done medicine with me, whether it be at a retreat or, another context. And then he comes in and he needs to build up trust with me. And also they need to, again, like do some more like kind of foundational work before we go there. Because plant medicine, it's an incredible ally, but it is not a quick fix. It is not
Yeah.
a band-aid.
And I think a lot of
Um,
people have that misconception.
they really do.
Yeah.
They really do. And it is I mean, it's ancient. It's ancient wisdom. It's profound. It absolutely can support you in a breakthrough. But it is not something that is like, I'm going to do this and it's a quick fix and I'll never have a bad feeling again. It's just not that. It's a really incredible supplement to somatic work, and somatic work is an incredible supplement to plant medicine. They really weave in beautifully together. So just to answer your question, like yes, like sometimes it's a perfect place for this to come in, and but other times like it's not quite the time yet, and we're gonna be finding when the right time for that other allyship to come in.
I love how you approach plant medicine and that it's this sacred thing and there actually needs to be trust and inner resources built
Yeah,
versus, I hear a lot of people being like, I'm just gonna go do ayahuasca and all my trauma is gonna be healed. And I'm like,
right,
what about the
right. I
integration?
know, I know.
So
Totally.
I love that you like set the foundation and it's part of a whole versus it's like you
The
said
thing.
the magic pill.
Yeah.
And I think in the
Yeah.
healing world some people are always looking for the magic pill.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true. It's so true. And I think it's also, I mean, I was that person early in my journey, like looking for a magic pill. What's going to be the thing? What's going to be the thing? And after a time, it's like actually being with myself is the thing. Feeling my feelings,
Mic drop.
choosing a different story, like really letting myself trust and building my inner resources is the thing.
Yeah.
And it's not sexy. It's not sexy. But
Yeah.
it's also like it's interesting. I just was sharing a little bit on my podcast about this year and kind of like an end of the year recap. And this was a really tough year for me.
Mm, mhm, mhm.
Very expansive in a lot of ways and
Yeah.
in work and in my relationship, but I opened a pocket of terror early in the year
Mm,
that I just through my own somatic work that I hadn't had access to for literally for decades.
mm,
And it really threw me through a loop, and I was so in it. I'm so lucky. I have really incredible
mm.
friendships, really incredible support. I have my husband. But it was also something that I had to do. No one else could feel it for me.
Yeah.
And it was hard. It was like a lot of fear, a lot of worthlessness, a lot of shame.
Mm.
But it's, in that was like in the end of January, right after the fires in LA, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not what opened it, but it was just like it was like so funny that I'm like, wow, and also the world is on fire.
Yeah. I'm on fire inside and then,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow.
And so yeah, I mean it really took me to a deeper place in myself that I hadn't traversed yet. And so I feel really grateful for it now that I'm on the other side. But it was months of like waking in the middle of the night with heart palpitations and
Oof.
a lot of feeling like I couldn't catch my breath. And um it was just very, very, very young fear that, you know, like I actually had gotten to a place where I felt safe enough to process the
Touch
unsafety.
that. Yeah.
Like
Yes.
I had actually built enough resource and grounding and foundation in my body to to welcome it, and I was like, okay, I had my witness on. I was like, I know that this is happening because I have done enough of the resourcing
Yes.
to be able to handle it. And so I can trust that even in that, that's a win.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not fun. It was not fun. But also I feel, like I said, really grateful. And also like my field and my work has never been more potent,
Yeah.
so I can't remember why I got there, but I was just thinking about this year and
Being with yourself, like the
yeah,
things
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
that right there.
yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
And I love the way that you framed it. It's like I know this came up because I have built the inner resources.
Yeah.
And I remember this was something I realized maybe 5 or 6 years ago when I like an old thing was resurfacing for me. And there was a question. It's like, I thought I already dealt with this, but then it's like, actually, no. The person I am now has so much more capacity to feel a deeper layer of this.
Hmm.
And it's like a compliment from your inner child. Like, thank you
Yes.
for becoming the person that can hold this now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's scary, it's uncomfortable, but I love this reframe of like, and there's a gratitude there because you can see that you've become the person who can now hold
Hold it.
this level of the pain, of the fear. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really been such a gift. I'm excited to see like what's created
Mm,
from this embodiment in 2026.
wow. I feel
Yeah.
like there's been something in the collective around 2025 of like people
Hmm.
going through a big
Hmm.
inner shift.
Yeah.
I've had my own like wild ride of a 2025
Yeah.
and I feel excited for you. I feel excited for
Thanks.
us. I
Yeah.
feel something is shifting. So,
Thank
like
you. Yeah, it
in
really is. It really is.
yeah, in the collective, something is really shifting and I feel really excited for what's coming. And by the time this episode airs, it'll probably be January 2026.
Yeah.
So it's like, I love that this conversation is kind of opening up this portal of like all this stuff that, for those of you who are listening, if you are also processing, we're processing something big in 2025, like trust that all of that is going to compound and you're going to start seeing now the external shifts. Like I feel like 2025 was the year of the internal, massive internal shifts.
And now it's like we're collecting dividends, baby.
Yes, yes. Preach. Yeah. 2020 for me at least, and it sounds like
Yeah,
for you as well, like big inner shifts. And I feel like 2026 is the year of like, okay, now the outer world is going to match everything that you've built inside.
I feel that. I feel
Ah,
that.
oh my gosh.
So fun.
So incredible. Yeah, what do you ha any big things that are coming in 2026 for you that you're like super excited about?
Well, I really we want to start trying for a baby. Yeah, I'm feeling so
What?
excited about
That's a
that.
big shift.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel
Wow.
really excited about that. We think we're going to start trying in pretty much in the new year.
Wow.
Um, and so it's just kind of seeing where that journey takes us, and it feels so good. And one of my real goals, with that and that journey, I have a breathwork and somatic embodiment membership called the Breath Channel, and I've had it for 5 years. We have, close to 300 and like 30 members. It's really beautiful. I'm super
Wow.
proud of it. Um, and I want it to be something that I'm like, I'm ready for this to blow up. So I'm
Yeah.
just speaking this vision into you and to the audience and to the ethers. Like I really feel excited about that platform blowing up and really supporting me, potentially in maternity leave with a bunch of passive income, and
Yes.
that feels really exciting. And I also just have so many incredible private clients. And it's so interesting. A couple weeks ago, a reel of mine went viral. And that doesn't really happen for me that much. It's happened a few times, but I got like, I'm at like 12,000 new followers, and I have all these inquiries for couples wanting to work with me. And
Wow.
the couples work feels really alive right now.
Mm.
And it feels really alive. It feels really exciting. The plant medicine feels really exciting. I did a
Mm.
lot of ceremonies last year. We were in New York 3 times because we travel. So we were in New York 3 times. We did three retreats in no, 2 retreats in Joshua Tree. I did a couple retreats in
Wow.
Southern California, and that's been really wonderful. And it's also been so great to get offline
Mm-hmm.
and in person, and to be actually touching bodies and
Yeah.
supporting people in going through and clearing charge. And yeah, so more of that. I feel really excited about that. Yeah, that feels kind of what's present right now.
Incredible.
Yeah, how about you?
Oh my gosh. 2020, I feel like 2026 is going to be something big.
Yeah,
We about a year and a half ago, we launched an accredited somatics coaching certification program.
amazing.
And we've been doing so much building behind the scenes. And again, a lot of like inner work around
Hmm.
this as well. And I feel like in the same way you're like, I'm putting it into existence that your breathwork channel is going to blow up, I'm like, our certification is going to blow up.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel that. It's been a big shift in our work and what we do at Healing Embodied. Like we made a total pivot because before
Mhm.
we mostly all of our services were for people with relationship anxiety, and then like
Mm,
this certification program dropped in. I couldn't unsee it, and we
mm.
went through all the work to get it accredited, and we've now run 2 cohorts. We're about to run our third, and it's like
Ah,
it's a massive pivot, like
yeah.
to go from something one thing to something so different. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a challenge to make that pivot from just like a business standpoint, but it's like I trust so deeply in this thing that has come through. And um Sarah, my co-facilitator, Sarah and I got hired to teach a week-long training retreat in New York.
Mm.
um that's happening in September. Like someone like this big institute reached out to us and I was like, what
Ah,
the heck?
oh my God.
To lead like a training for wellness professionals. And it's like, this is exactly, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is insane.
That's
So
incredible.
I feel really excited about all
That's
that.
incredible. I'm
Yeah.
holding it with you.
I'm holding yours with you.
Thank you.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh. So where can people find you if people are interested in a plant medicine retreat, in couples work, in the breathwork channel? Where can
Yeah.
they find you?
Come hang with me on Instagram. I'm over there. It's the easiest. It's the easiest. You'll find my website and all my offerings over there at Stevie L Wright underscore with a Wright. That's where I love connecting with new people. Send me a DM. I have a lot of different offerings, all different price points. If you're new to my work and you want to feel into what offering is the right place to start for you, just shoot me a DM and also just come say hi. I really like to connect with new people.
Yeah, and I'll put all the things in the show notes. And if,
Cool.
you have any other links or anything you want me to put in there, I can do that as well. So for those
Thank you.
listening or watching on YouTube, check out the description. If you're listening to the podcast, look at the show notes, follow Stevie on Instagram, all the things. And I'm just so appreciative of your time today and just hearing about your work in the world and what's coming up for you and all the beautiful
That
things.
was that was really fun. You're an incredible interviewer. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Hmm.
I told you we just vibe.
Yeah,
We get
just
on
vibe.
and we just vibe. We have a good time and I just love having conversations with cool people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like there are just so many freaking gems in the world and I feel very fortunate and lucky to be connected with people doing such incredible things in the world. So again, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me, Chelsea. I appreciate it.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to chat with you next time.